Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor is due unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Raruch HaKodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. And as always, peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I just wanted to share with y'all real quick, to you brothers and you few sisters. If you're not familiar with this, or if you never came across this site right here, this is dollartimes.com. And what you see before you is an inflation calculator. So if you ever want to know the dollar amount and what it was worth in a particular year, and you want to compare it to another year, you can just hit this inflation calculator, and you can see the change in its value. How it's decreased in value over the course of years. We know that that's due to um a lot of the printing from the Fed, them printing more money and putting it into circulation and just flooding the streets, with more paper money. And this is what's bound to happen when you're dealing with fiat currency. All right. And we know according to the scriptures, real money is things with real value, like gold and silver and cattle. That has real worth. All right, this paper money, this fiat currency, which originated from the Federal Reserve, which was all planned out by the elite. This was how they was going to govern and control the world through a credit-based system. And the more money that goes out, the more in value it decreases. All right, and just to make it plain, the dollar is it's an unjust weight. It's an unjust balance. All right, and what do the scriptures say about unjust balances? Let's go real quick. Let's go into the scripture. Let's go to Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 16, verse 11. And it says, a just weight and balance are the Lord's, all the weight of the bag are his work. But when you go to Proverbs 11, this is what it also says. Proverbs 11 and 1, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. And when you go into this inflation calculator and you see what the dollar used to be worth all the way to now, you'll see a total huge difference. All right, back in the early 1900s, it probably only cost you 36 cents for a gallon of milk. What does it cost now for a gallon of milk? And that should give you everything you should know about the dollar. All right, it's a false balance, and over the course of time, especially with the last few administrations, they've done so much money printing, man. It's ridiculous. They've reached a lot of debt ceilings where they had to you know get more bailouts to save the economy, and they would pump quantitative easings into the system, and each time it would lower the value of the dollar. And then this is what I did. I calculated from the year 2020 to the year 2022, and this is the last 2 years. We was under this pandemic psyop, and this is what it toppled the economy that much more. Where a lot of businesses, a lot of small businesses, went belly up. Um, a lot of people lost jobs. People got locked down. all type of things. And then to help relieve the situation, which was a temporary fix, was really it really hurt the economy much more. But people got googly eyed when they got promised checks were gonna hit the mailbox. They didn't know that they were going to have to pay for that on the back end. So between Trump and his last year in office and Biden, trillions upon trillions of dollars have been pumped into the economy, all for this initiative, that initiative, this plan, that plan, was really more plans towards their new world order. And they gave you just a little tiny bit of relief, all right? Got you holding on by a string dangling, and you got, I mean, how much money altogether did you get between 2020 and now from your government? And meanwhile, people lost their jobs, so they lost that guaranteed income. So you sat on your ass, and people got an unemployment, and then that ran out. There was only so much money that they can give out before they start to tell you, all right, y'all got to get back to work. So all those trillions of dollars printed, and now look at the inflation rate. The dollar was worth more in 2020 than it is now. The inflation went up 8 cents. You see, and when you do the calculation in the percentage, it says right here, annual inflation over this period for was 4.16%. Now let's go to 2021 to 2022 and look at this big leap from 2021 to 2022. Adjusted for inflation, a dollar in 2021 is equal to 1.07, $1.07 in 2022. Annual inflation over this period was 7.08%. It's like I said, 7.04%. So that's a big ass leap. But that's because Biden, they had him sign those bills. One of them being an infrastructure bill. That was 1.7 trillion dollars, and then he's sending billions now to Ukraine. And you got idiots that still look at this guy like he's some kind of hero. When the elites are actually using this dude to further, he's using this dude, man. They're using this guy. He's only further imploding the petrodollar, and you're gonna start to see that growing trend of more countries dipping off from the petrodollar, especially now that you got Saudi Arabia talking about they're willing to use the Chinese yuan to trade oil with. That's gonna really mess up the dollar, man. And these nations understand that the dollar ain't worth shit no more. I mean, it been not worth you know anything since they took away the golden standard. So this is what we dealing with. Okay, this is just wicked balances, deceitful weights, and it's gonna get worse. That's why you've been seeing shrinkflation, where the purchasing power of your dollar has decreased. So now it's going to take more dollars to buy a particular item or product that was worth less the previous years. So you start to see, like, if you buy a bag of chips or something, back in 2020 it was two something. Now you got to spend close to $4 for that same bag now. And not only that, but there's more air in the bag than it is chips. And then the bag is getting smaller and smaller. So just imagine when this devil keeps passing these more, these bills and putting, trillions more dollars into circulation. And then you see that they gotta raise the minimum wage because if they didn't do that, these people they will starve. So they got these people hanging by a thread right now. But just imagine when it starts to get a little worse. That's when it's gonna be unrest. That's when people gonna really turn the hell out. They're gonna turn up. Okay, that's when you're gonna start to see more sedition. When hyperinflation starts kicking in, then you're gonna see mayhem all throughout the streets. You think Jake is going wild now with all these smash and grabs and robbing motherfuckers in daylight, in the daylight, in the middle of the day? It's gonna get a lot worse. So, I thought this was very interesting. I want to, I thought I'd share it, with you, brothers and you sisters, man. It's dollartimes.com/inflation. So you can go to this inflation calculator, see what your dollar is worth. Your dollar ain't worth shit. And Jake don't understand money. They don't understand how money works. I laugh at when I see these niggas with a wad of money, with a band or whatever, and they on social media flashing and flaunting it out. And these women, these stripper thoughts, these insta thought models, when they flash their money and make it look like they live in a royal lifestyle, I laugh at them, man. They have no freaking clue. They have no idea. Even Floyd, like when these rappers and entertainers do the same shit. Like, you don't understand how money work and the value of money, currency, and you got all this money, you big dummy. If you smart, you would convert that money into something more valuable because this money is going to continue to decrease in value. It's going to continue to inflate until it gets to the hyperinflation stage, like what's going on down there in Venezuela. What happened back, um, I forget what year that was, but you had a similar crisis in Zimbabwe years ago. And then we all know the history about the Weimar Republic with Germany. Go and look up those that history, man. The value doesn't stay the same especially when you're dealing with fiat currency. Real money is backed by gold and silver. That's why it tells you in let me get this real quick in Ecclesiastes, where it talks about money as a defense. See if I can find it. I believe it's Ecclesiastes. Yep. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 12, it says, "For wisdom is a defense." And you gotta, know shit, man. Wisdom will defend you. With wisdom and knowledge shall be your stability in these times. And us being privy to the times, because we know what the prophecies say, we know that it's gonna get drastic. We know that bad times are already here, but it's gonna continue to increase. We're going through the times of travail, like a woman in travail and in labor, and this is what comes with that, man. This is what brings the distress of nations. It happened in ancient Rome. That's how part of the reason why Rome fell. All right. It says, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth light to them that have it. When you look up this word money, I believe the Hebrew word is kashap. Kasap. Yep, Kasap. And it's dealing with silver. Silver money, silver as metal, as ornament, as color, money, shekels, talents. All right. And you can go to the US debt clock and figure out what gold is worth and how much an ounce of silver, a troy ounce of gold and silver is worth. And you see, based on the debt that America is in, they're worth a lot, but they supposed to be worth way more than what they say it is. That's because these devils, they control the market. But what is for what is really worth, you'll be able to get a lot for just 1 ounce of silver. And then they say, silver is the poor man's gold. Let me see real quick. Let me go to the U.S. debt clock. Let me take a look at that real quick. So we currently the national debt at over 30 trillion. Then it says debt per citizen 91,136. So you're the bearer of that debt. All right, the average American, you bear that debt. That's why you get taxed out the ass, man. All right. And then over the years, they was giving the rich tax breaks. This is a wicked society, man. That's why, like it says in Proverbs 19, when the righteous are on authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And more people impoverished than ever, and they want to keep it that way because these devils are greedy. Greedy, selfish. They have an evil covetousness, and it's way more. It's the national debt is way more than what they're saying, though, for sure. All right. Now here's the ratios. The dollar to oil ratio right now, 70.55 per barrel. But back in 1913, it was 224 a barrel. See that? The dollar to silver ratio right now, 2,893 per ounce. But back in 1913, it was 2.69 an ounce. So that's how much it would get you for an ounce, 269 back in 1913. See? So this is that was that Habakkuk the second chapter. He that ladeth himself with thick clay, the Abatya. All right, let's go there real quick, and that's what further leads to the furthering of the scantness of the measure. Let's go to Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. It says, "Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home." He wants to spread his democracy and his Western ideology and culture amongst everybody. That's part of what Babylon. When it talks about the fornication of her wine. She spreads her weight across the world, and people, these countries got to agree. They got to agree with it, and they'll be willing to trade with you. You'll be able to make money off of America. You can come and shut up shop here in America and make money, but you gotta compromise. You gotta taste of that cup. All right. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. and made these nations to drink it. So now you all over the world, all right, causing all type of wars, proxy wars. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. The insatiable nature of Esau. All right, just the need to be greedy. You want to heap everything to yourself. You want all the natural resources to yourself. You want to control the whole planet Earth. You know, go and look up the Agenda 2030 UN Sustainable Development Agenda. It goes into it. All the things that they want to have power and control over. That's why they want to digitize everything, so they can calculate everything and know where everything is going, what amount. They get to dictate all that. So this devil, man, this is total wickedness. Can never be satisfied, and he already has the world in the palm of it, under his thumb. Still not satisfied. That's not enough. He wants to get rid of real money and give you digital numbers. He want to give you digital numbers, and he gets to dictate how much you're worth. Meanwhile, he got hoarded up all these riches. That's why it talks about in James the 5th chapter, how for you rich men. It's the all your money, everything that you hoarded up from yourself is cankered. It says, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? See, and you go down to thick clay, and the word is ibadyet. It says weight of pledges, heavy debts. All right, heavy debts, man. But guess what? You got to be the one to pay for it. You know, so basically it's like you're borrowing. And what does it say in Proverbs 22? The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So as long as he keeps it this way, he can continue to rule over you. And that's how the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all the international banking families, that's how they got to where they are today, by setting up a fraudulent banking system to rule the world with. Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws. So that's why these devils gonna end up paying for all this, man. Let's go to Micah 6 in the 10th verse. You know, because what causes the abat the heavy debt? Micah 6 and 10, it says, are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and a scant measure that is abominable? Meaning what? When you look up that word scant, it means leanness or wasteness. Something that wastes, that thins. And the word is Raza 1, and it says leanness, scantness, wasting. Leanness, wasting of disease, scantness of measure. So the value of the dollar keeps thinning, is wasting away. The more they keep printing, the more they keep putting it in circulation, the more they keep funding these different initiatives. We want more gender equality. We want this. We want that. We're gonna give reparations to the moles. We want to give Ukraine 13 point something trillion. I mean, I said trillion, billions of dollars. You know, the different bailouts. So it's reckless. And guess what? You got to pay for it. The rich ain't got to worry about nothing. They can pay all this off if they really wanted to. That's how rich they are. They could pay all this off and still be trillionaires. But you think with the nature of Esau, you think he gonna make that right? No, the soul that is lifted up is not upright in him. He's not gonna do good. The scriptures tell you that. Can a leopard change his spots? Can an Ethiopian change his skin? So them that are accustomed to do evil to do good. He's not gonna do the right thing, man. It says, "Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and the bag of deceitful weights?" And that's what this is, dealing with the dollar. For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. It says that in Psalms that bloody and deceitful men will not live out half their days. So the triumphant of the triumphant of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. And you look up that word hypocrite, it means godless. And Esau, he's a godless man. He doesn't fear the Most High. That's why he lives his life doing the type of things that he's doing, especially when you're in leadership position. When you're in leadership position, there's things that are expected of you. Because the Lord, he rules in the kingdom of men. But we understand that Esau being the wicked, it was going to be a wicked rule, a wicked dominion. This is why people got to suffer every day. All right. As a matter of fact, let me go to the Apocrypha real quick. That's why when we get in the kingdom, things are going to be put back in its rightful order. We don't have to worry about this type of thing. Money is going to go back to being gold and silver, like it always been since the beginning of time. All right, we're going to govern the world by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and that's why righteousness is going to is we're going to live in a world of righteousness, man. When this world passes away with fervent heat and great noise, then we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwell righteousness. There's going to be a righteous government. Yahweh Shai and his 144,000 men. All right. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 6:1. It says, "Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth." All right, and Esau, he's the top king, he's the top judge of the earth. The earth is given into his hand. This is the last leg and foot of the beast. It says, "Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations." Because this devil, he's the top dominant power over the world. He rules over all nations. It just so happened that he rules over us different than the rest, because we're enemies. So there's a reason why the Israelites are at the bottom, and that's also in the curse. The strangers that is within thee shall get thee above the high, very high, and thou shalt be brought very low. It says, "For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest." So the Lord put you in power. He gave you your sovereign authority, right? It says, "Who shall try your works and search out your counsels?" Your wicked counsels, your secret counsels of the wicked. The Lord's going, and he's bringing everything to light now. All your wicked, evil agendas, man. So we already know what's getting ready to happen. You finna bring the MOTB, the Charagma. That's why you allowing Biden to do all this signing, all right, with printing out trillions of dollars through the Fed just so that you can further the demise of the petrodollar. All right, causing all these psyop false flags just so you can have a reason to put more money various places to develop all this technology. You trying to bring forth the green energy agenda, where you want to do away with fossil fuels, because them Western countries, they still got to depend upon fossil fuel from Russia, and they still, even though the media ain't going to be too vocal about it, but Europe still has to depend upon Russian energy. So they ain't stop. They're not going to stop dealing with Russia on that end. What you think pays for the fuel for their jets, their fighter jets, and their navy fleets, all their military equipment? It still operates from fossil fuels. Anyway, so that's how you know this is all being done, by design. It was all orchestrated, man. It says, verse 4 says, because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. That's the elite, the super rich, the powers that be that are in control right now. And that's why initially, when the Lord returns, they're going to be in hiding, because they're going to know all the wickedness that they've done. They already know it. We've been getting on them. The prophets been getting on them. And they know what the elites know what the scriptures say about themselves. So they're going to be trying to be in hiding. That's why they've been putting a amount of money into those luxurious underground uh, bomb shelters. You know, they already know what time it is. They're going to hide us up under the rock. All right, it says, for mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. And you devils are going to be tormented, man. All right, because you're going to go right into slavery, and you're going to really feel what it's like to really be up under the curse. It's going to be like the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. We gonna trade places, and that's going to torment the hell out of you devils, man. All right. The kingdom is going to be translated from one people to another. Let's get that in Sirach 10. It's going to be translated to the righteous, those who's going to be profitable for the earth. All right, Sirach 10 and 4 says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And then we jump down to verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, deceitful bags and weights, measures. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. You got it by rape, robbery, murder, a false banking system, fiat currencies, putting people in debt. All right, causing you know pandemics, and using big pharma to collect and generate billions of dollars off of the injuries and miseries and deaths of people. You got a lot to pay for, man. A lot. All right. You got heavy debt in blood. So that day is coming, man. So now you understand, and y'all can do these calculations. You can go to each year, man. Matter of fact, let me go down to we go to 1914, and you're gonna see your mouth is gonna drop when you see this. So $1 in 1914, what it was worth back then, is equal to $27.88 today. I don't even need to explain it, man. You see it for yourself. But this is what happens when you deal with fiat currency, when you deal with this kind of system, dealing with the Fed. This is what they conjured up at Jekyll Island. So, and these devils, man. James 5, man. Read James the 5th chapter. Matter of fact, I'll read it and then we'll close out with that. I'll read that. When you read James 5, also keep in mind Job the 20th chapter 2. All the riches that they hoarded for themselves is all corrupt. James 5 and 1, it says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days." All right? And they've been planning this, man. Let me read it in the NLT and see what it say. It says, "Look here, you rich people, weep and groan with anguish because of all the terrible troubles ahead of you. Your wealth is rotting away, and your fine clothes are moth-eaten rags. Your gold and silver has become worthless. The very wealth you were counting on will eat away your flesh like fire. And you will not feel quietness in your belly, man." It says, "This treasure you have accumulated will stand as evidence against you on the day of judgment." Woo! There it is. "For listen, hear the cries of the field workers, the laborers," all right, the slaves that help to keep your economy going, "whom you have cheated of their pay." And we got to pay for all this debt. "The wages you held back cry out against you. The cries of those who harvest your fields have reached the ears of the Lord of heaven, of basically the Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of heaven's armies." Okay? So the Lord's getting ready to deal with these devils. It says, "You have spent your years on earth in luxury, satisfying your every desire. You have fattened yourselves for the day of slaughter." All right? And the Lord's preparing you, man. He's gonna destroy, he's gonna wipe out your kingdom, he's gonna wipe out your muscle, Babylon the Great. And then when the Lord comes to subdue the rest of the world, you already know what time it is, man. So I'm gonna stop it right there, man. And Lord willing, this was edifying. And what I'll do is I'll leave this in the description box. For any of you brothers want to go and search this out. It was pretty interesting. But anyway, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.